childhood educator and National Project Manager for Kids Matter Early Childhood, an early childhood mental health initiative. In this Talking About Practice series, we're looking at how educators plan for social and emotional learning. As educators, we know social and emotional wellbeing is fundamental to children's growth and development. When educators have an understanding of children's social and emotional development, they're able to scaffold experiences to assist children to become confident learners. From the moment children are born, they are developing and learning social and emotional skills through their social interactions and relationships with others. They progress from being highly dependent newborns to becoming independent preschoolers with increasingly sophisticated skills and capabilities. We know that children are born motivated and are wired to relate to other human beings. They actively interact with others to create experiences to develop the skills and rewarding relationships that are fundamental to their social and emotional well-being. Children's developing social and emotional skills in their early years forms the foundation which learning and development depends, including life skills such as thinking, planning and decision making, essential for lifelong learning. While social and emotional learning is incorporated across many areas and elements of the National Quality Standard, we have focused each part of this series on a particular quality area, element and outcome of the early years learning framework. We are not implying that these are the only areas where intentional social and emotional teaching and learning take place, but more to allow a focused professional conversation with educators on their everyday practice. Relationships with educators play a vital role in developing a child's sense of self. When children experience warm, trusting and predictable relationships, it builds their capacity to relate to others, their sense of empathy and respect for others, and their ability to participate in their own learning. Warm, responsive and trusting relationships between children and educators will optimise children's development and learning, provide comfort and support to minimise feelings of stress as they learn to negotiate their world, provide first-hand experiences of social and emotional skills, and help children maintain a sense of connection to their families. Today we're at Dalaga Preschool and Children's Centre. We will be observing and talking with educators about the importance of relationships in social and emotional learning and the role relationships play in developing a sense of belonging that helps children make sense of and contribute to their world.
Hi, I'm Lottie. I work at Dalaga Preschool. I've actually worked with the 4 to 5 year olds, a transition group to school. And I'm also a 2-day community worker, support worker through the families and services and partnerships for our community.
I'm Janet Jensen. I'm the Director of Dalaga Preschool. I'm also the Director of Scribbly Dallow, our long day care centre out at South. And I've been working here at Dalaga for 15 years. Dalaga is a 59 children place centre. We have children from 2 to 5 years of age. Our 2-year-olds are usually only children that are specific needs. We have about 10 to 12 children with additional needs. 3 of those are high needs children.
Tell me about some of the social and emotional competencies that you see in children in your service that help them connect to other children and to adults.
Well, I find children that do obtain Dalaga Preschool, they come in, some of them can be relaxed and settled to start straight away. We have some that are on different levels of the spectrum where we have to take that time out to observe and watch them, especially the first timers here, so we can actually work on the interest and their social ability and the emotional ability.
What do you actually do with some of those children who are a little bit shy, hesitant and anxious when they first arrive? What are some of the strategies that you...
In the beginning, it's usually we encourage the parents to stay in the room with the child and talk to the child and talk to the teacher and have that interaction so that the child can see that the parent thinks it's a safe place for them to be. They're talking to the staff members quite freely, they're playing with the toys and everything else, and it's a gradual pull away until the teachers take over.
Yeah, and once again, it's letting the parents tell the children what their next step is. That mum's going to go to work or dad's got to go to work. We'll be here to get you this afternoon. So children are reassured of the situation. We have little things where some children just attach to another staff member. That attachment, that staff member will stay with that child for a couple of weeks, and maybe even right through the whole year, but it's gradually that child does. It just really normally takes about 2 to 3 weeks for a child to really settle in, get to know that, oh yeah, we do go home. We do go home.
Tell me about that attachment to a staff member and why you encourage a staff member to stay with a child for that period of time, whether it be a few weeks or you said even up to a year?
I think it just helps soothe that pathway too, because it's just like anyone, when you first start a workplace as adults, if someone really connects to you, you're drawn to them. And it's just
really
a natural aura.
It's for the staff and the child itself to have that attachment.
So that child is seeing that educator as their secure base?
Yes, very much so. And it could be like one of the girls in the office, and they'll come in and they'll talk and they'll say, "What are you doing?" And the children are more or less allowed to go everywhere.
As you said, that close attachment is working with those families and empowering the families, and that's what we really do in the centre, is really empower our families, because a lot of them have had hard times. A lot of them have been through a lot of issues that really affects their parenting skills.
Those relationships that you have with families, how do they actually support children's social and emotional learning?
Well, the other day we had a gardening day, and we had parents come in and help with the gardening. They talked to the children about the gardening, the worms, why there was no worms in the garden, why the soil was good or why it wasn't good. And the children were talking and relating to their parents in a different way than what they would at home. They're seeing their parents in a different light. And that's building up that relationship, and it's also building up the children's social emotional well-being, because look, my parents here at the school, we find children where the parents don't turn up get very distressed because their parent didn't turn up. So we then make a phone call and say, "Oh, please, can you just spare 15 minutes and come quickly call into the school?" Most of them call up because we've rang them, and they'll just come so that the child can see them at the school, and building that relationship and letting the parents see how important that is to their child builds a stronger relationship between the parent and the child, as well as between the parent, the child and the school. Our relationship with our parents is very strong. It's something that we build on. And I guess the best example we can give you is that one year we had a terrible out in the community rift between two families, and both families, clans, came to this school, and we had the end of year Christmas concert, and we didn't know what to do, and we ended up singing John Lennon's peace song, War is Over, This is Christmas. And the two family clans were on either side of the school yard, and at the end of the song there was not a dry eye in the place. You know, so that's how big that relationship can be in this service, and how not only does it help the children, but it can help the community to heal. And we really find that a focal point for our service.
Tell me about the sculptures that you have around your playground.
That was part of our healing program, and it all sort of stemmed from not only the incident but a few other things that have happened in the centre. We sort of looked, and there was a lot of help out there for the adults and for the grown-ups, but there wasn't much help for our young ones. How can we help the kids make sense of all the trauma that's going around them in the community? And we developed a healing program, and part of that was the clay therapy. It was a two-pronged approach. It was one for the children to be able to create something and talk about what their feelings were, but it was also so they could work together to build bigger things, bigger structures, and see beauty in that. And it showed the parents that working together, our children are capable and very competent individuals, and I think the parents were surprised. I know I was surprised with some of the sculptures that we had, and yeah, again, it's built the confidence in the parents. Oh, my child is smarter than what we think they are, and also in the community, they're saying, "Wow, you mean 4-year-olds did this?" We're going, "Yeah, they did."
You have a lot happening here with working with families. So what sort of opportunities do you give your staff, or how do your staff reflect and develop their knowledge around some of the things that you're actually doing?
It's coming back to our collaboration meetings, where we have our meetings fortnightly and we talk about the processes and the outcomes that are happening in the community.
When we first started discovering that we're doing a lot more counselling than what we initially needed to, we sent 3 of us off to parenting courses. Lottie's done parenting under pressure, as well as myself, and I've done the Mata Meo, which is reconnecting the child to the family. So we want to make sure that the advice we gave was a professional advice and not just what we thought.
Janet, you were talking to me earlier about the importance of people feeling valued in their qualifications and certificates. Tell me a little bit about what you have done to promote the skills within your team.
Well, when I first became director, I asked the team what is it they want to be seen, because I have a mainly Koori team, and they said we want to be professionals. And I said, well, you are professionals. And they said, no, we want mainstream to see us as professionals. And I said, oh, so I said, well, to be seen as a professional, you need a certificate, really, sort of. And so Lottie already had a certificate, but we ended up, all our staff have been certified a long time before it became COAG target. And they can be certified in their chosen fields. So our bus drivers have transport and logistic certificates. Our office girls all have their certificates in their various fields of what they do in the office. In fact, one of our office girls now is just going on to do her leadership course in a bachelor degree. So, you know, it's built people up slowly to become what they can be. One of our workers only went to year 9, and when we got this, said, oh, well, you can work here, but you need to have a certificate. He was a bit doubtful, but once he got his certificate, he said, it's the first time I got a certificate in anything. He said, I didn't think I could do it. So it's empowering the staff to know that they are professionals in their chosen field. And we found it had a roll-on effect in the community, because our HSC students now are going on saying, oh, we have to have a certificate to work there, so we have to finish our HSC. We have more children now completing their HSC than what we had when I first started. Partly, I feel, because of us, but you know, not only just what the Education Department has done, because the community people know they need a certificate to get a job.
Tell me about how important those relationships with children are to make the most of some of those spontaneous experiences that children have during the day, to turn them into intentional teaching moments.
I think it's very important to have that relationship with the children, to be able to build on their interests. We first learn it from the parents, what the children are interested in, so that's our first talking point with the children. You know, it might be their pet dog at home, it might be they're interested in trucks, or it might be in football, and then we can bring it into the classroom and plan around that.
Tell me about some of the things that you actually do with children to help them self-regulate, to help them actually talk about their feelings.
Younger classrooms where they don't have the voices to talk about, it's allowing them to express themselves and giving them the names of what their emotions are that they're expressing, because they don't understand what they're going through. So we name the emotion first, and then we work with that to build them up to be able to express it more freely in words and art and craft.
It's really for the children. If you're visualising and working with them and really taking note and interest and building that relationship, it opens up.
So you really see families and parents as partners?
Yes, very much so, because it's a journey. It's a journey because, hey, they were first teachers, then they handed over to us to be that pathway of learning, that transition to school process, and they build those strengths in their children.
Lottie and Janet, I'd really like to thank you for sharing some of your experiences here at Delegate today. I'm sure that the people who will be watching this video will be very interested in your thoughts, and it's really good to see the National Quality Standard and the Early Years Learning Framework in action. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.